In this video, I'm going to be sharing how I make my YouTube videos. Unfortunately, the process to actually make a video is not so simple all the time. I'm not an expert in this. This is just what I do and what I feel like works pretty well. In my mind, there are 5 pieces to the puzzle. The first of which being the brainstorm, ideating, coming up with ideas. So I'll start with a few things that I don't recommend for coming up with ideas. The first thing is watching a ton of YouTube, watching a ton of other people's content. I feel like this, in my opinion, is one of the fastest ways to develop imposter syndrome, feel like you don't have what it takes to do this kind of content, or make something that isn't coming from a place of genuine, outpouring of what your interests are and why you're creating YouTube content in the first place. And second, or maybe like 1.2, is using social media. I feel like, again, social media is just another place for your mind to become consumed by other people's ideas and other people's stuff. And, when you're trying to come up with ideas, oftentimes it just makes me feel worse. Like it doesn't actually help me. There's a time and a place for everything, but I don't think you should start here. In my opinion, I feel like the best way to ideate, the best way to come up with ideas, is to just think about what would you want to watch on YouTube. Think about your audience, think about the kind of videos that you've seen within your niche without having to go on YouTube, and just come up with genuine questions and bits of curiosity that would make you go, you know what, I would click on that video. That's interesting to me. I want to make a video on that because maybe it'll help somebody, maybe it'll challenge somebody, and maybe it'll entertain them. Those are great places to start with high quality ideas. When you have a clear idea of what your video is going to be, what it's going to be about, you have a source of truth that you can refer back to and make sure that every bit of research, every shot, every editing decision is actually going towards that central idea. I know it sounds so simple, but I feel so often that my worst videos, or at least the ones that are so hard to make, are the ones that I did not take a good bit of time to actually come up with a solid, clear idea. So piggybacking off of that, we quickly will jump into the second piece of this puzzle. This is the pre-production phase. What I found works really, really well for me, and this is a new thing that I've been doing, I do what's called a brain dump. Once I have my idea, I take a microphone, I take my iPhone, and I, either hit record on the voice notes app or I use some other app to record myself just absolutely dumping everything into that voice memo. I'm dumping ideas. I'm talking, effects that I want the video to have on people. I'm talking about, beats and points in the outline, things that I don't like about other people's videos, things that I want to do in my video, how I would do it, where I'll shoot it. Literally anything you can think of, hence the name Brain Dump. I am just vomiting out into this poor little microphone so that when I'm done recording all of these little bits and pieces, I can get a transcription and upload that transcription to an AI service like ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever it is you want to use, and then you'll prompt it to create an outline, maybe a shot list, whatever makes the most sense for your video. But I feel like I can talk faster than I can write or type, and so I'll just literally have conversations with AI tools that will help me distill this little gem of an idea into a really refined project. I cannot overstate the importance of a good title and a good thumbnail. Mr. Beast has said it, Colin and Samir has said it. If they don't click, they don't watch. Now, earlier in the video, I said, don't go to YouTube, don't look at social media, stay away from that when you're ideating. But when you're doing pre-production and you're in this research phase, I think it's actually really important that you do start going to YouTube and social media to start getting some ideas for titles and thumbnails. It's so unfortunate that we have to think about these things when we're making videos about gaming or videos about, eggs. Whatever you're making a video on, it stinks that we have to be an expert in SEO, graphic design, and, wordsmithing to make people curious about what the heck our video is going to be about. but it's just part of the game. It's just important to get these things done at the beginning rather than at the end. Obviously, there's always time to refine things, but it's better to do it before than after. Pre-production isn't just limited to those two things. You can also do shot lists. You can also come up with, exact things that you want to actually get done in your video. But for the most part, and for the videos that I do, that's pretty much like the basis of the pre-production that I need to do, which is coming up with good titles and thumbnails and a basic outline for my videos. From my experience as a filmmaker, one of the hardest parts for me when it comes to making videos is finding the right music. That's why I'm actually really excited to be partnering with Audio for this video, because I feel like they're actually making some really cool steps in the industry of curating and finding good songs for us creators to license for our videos. They have their link match AI tool, which allows you to copy and paste a song link and get a ton of different results that sound just like it. And they also have their Hans tool, which I personally think is really great because you can describe what kind of song you're looking for, the emotion, the feeling, the energy, and it's gonna give you results matching those inputs. So if you're looking for a new music licensing platform, or you're just trying to find a better library of music to choose from for your videos, be sure to check out audio.com and use the code MH70 to get 70% off your first year of music licensing. 70% off means that your first year is just $59. $59 for unlimited music downloads and sound effects downloads, their AI tools, and an incredibly high quality, curated library of music for you to download. Just sounds too good to be true, but it's not. I'll leave a link in my description. And again, if you want 70% off, use my code MH70 at checkout. Phase 3, production or filming or shooting, whatever you want to call it. For the sake of this video, I'm really going to only speak to how I produce this shot right here, the actual filming of this talking head portion of the video. This is not a video telling you what camera to buy or what lights, but I'm just going to share what I use, and maybe the results will speak for themselves, or you'll just hate everything that I'm doing and you can do the opposite. That's fine. So for my camera, I'm using my Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro, and for lenses, I'm usually using my Sigma 18-35 lens or my ultra-wide Laowa 12mm lens. For audio, I am usually using this Shure SM7B, and for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to do this video without a mic stand. My arm is literally going numb from holding this, so maybe a mic stand. Add that to your gear list. Or I'm using my DJI lav mics. These things are awesome, dude. You can plug lavs into them, you can record internally on them. So they're just like such a versatile little microphone that are great for doing travel videos or when you're filming in an airport. You just need a quick little hit of audio. These suckers are awesome. The last piece of this gear puzzle is lighting, but in tandem with lighting, I think you need to think first about composition, what your camera is actually looking at in terms of a scene. So this is my home office. This is where I do that kind of work. This is where I shoot them and edit them. This is where I do my live streams and I game. This is where I, just exist for all intents and purposes, right? So it makes sense that my scene is here. So looking at this scene, how do I approach lighting it? Well, the first thing that I want to do is light the environment. I use my little Philips Hue lights. I've got a light behind my monitor, a light on the side of my desk, and under my desk to sort of bring up the level in the room. Once I turn those on, the scene looks like this. I feel like that's a pretty good start. Looking at the scene, that backlight, that window, is kind of playing to the right side of the environment. So it makes sense to me to kind of have that key light come from the right side so that it feels like the room is naturally lit, perhaps by the sun and maybe some windows that you don't exist over there. Then I'll turn on this backlight, which will also act as another fill for the room, but will also give my back of the head a little bit of light to separate me from the background. And the last thing I do is I just dial in this little tube light to my right. This is the Amaran T4C, and I just bring this up just a little bit to fill in some of the shadows on the left side of my face there. The backlight is an F22C, and the key light is an Amaran 200X. These are relatively cheap lights. They're not the cheapest lights in the world, but as I say, buy once, cry once, baby. After you've shot this stuff and all the other stuff for your videos, the next step in the next phase of this process is post-production or editing, whatever you want to call it. Here are some simple tips to kind of get you through the editing process. This is not an editing tutorial by any means, but here's some things that you can think about while editing. 1, make sure that it's speaking to the ideas that you started with. If it's not contributing to your title, if it's not contributing in some way to your idea, consider chopping it out. Number 2, if it's boring, consider cutting it. You don't want a boring video. Number 3, don't be selfish. Oftentimes when you're editing, you don't want to cut out parts that make you look good, make you funnier, whatever, right? But sometimes those things don't necessarily contribute to the overall video. So while you're editing, you just need a little bit of discretion, right? Maybe it's time to keep that funny bit in or that part that makes you look really good, but sometimes it makes the video drag a little too long and you don't really need it. Number 4, have a consistent style. I personally have been trying to sort of keep the same fonts, the same color schemes, the same transitions, the same backgrounds for scene changes, just so that it feels like when you watch one video and you watch another video, they're coming from the same home. They're coming from the same place. Is that super important? I don't know. I think that it's helpful for the viewer to build a brand, to help people know that videos are from you. And it's cool. It makes your videos feel a bit more put together and professional. And number 5, use your outline. If you're ever lost in the sauce and you don't really know where you're supposed to be in your video, look back to your outline for some guidance. It might be able to tell you, hey man, you are off course. Cut away some of this crap and stay focused on where you're supposed to be. So after you've edited your video, in my opinion, it's time to do the color and the sound of your videos. I've actually done a few tutorials on color and sound. I've done a sound tutorial, which goes through pretty much everything you would want to know for how to think about doing sound. And I've also done a basic color grading workflow that I feel like is actually a pretty good start. Color and sound are like my favorite parts of the post-production process. I really enjoy it, find it to be very, fun. I wouldn't dare say call it therapeutic, but it's definitely something that I enjoy to experiment with. Not everybody's like that, which is why I'm releasing a LUT pack called Clean Slate today. It's based off of this shot that you see here. This LUT pack was designed to really just help the people who don't really care too much about color grading right now. They just need a quick solution, something that looks good, something that they can trust, that they can put on their log footage and have a great day. After you've done your editing, your color grading, your sound design, you are well on your way to the last step of this process. The last step is publishing. Once you have your video file ready to upload, what I like to do is take my title and my thumbnail and go to a website like thumbsup.tv or another site that allows you to see your title and your thumbnail together as it would look on YouTube, both in the home screen, on the sidebar, right? You want to make sure that the exposure is bright enough, the saturation's bright enough, and that it actually looks good when you're looking around on YouTube. Because for the most part, I don't know about you, but a majority of my audience viewership comes from the homepage and suggested videos. I don't know about you, but I hate writing descriptions for videos. I feel like summing up a video and what it's about and the purpose of it, it's just not like the easiest thing for me to do. So I'll usually take a transcription of my final video after it's finished, and I'll upload that to a ChatGPT or a Gemini, and I'll just ask it, hey, give me a high-ranked, SEO-optimized description that really speaks to the value of this video. And voila, I usually have a pretty nice description that I can use, and I don't have to think twice about it. So once you have all those things, that's the best news of the day. You can then upload your video, add your title, add your thumbnail, get that description rocking and rolling, make sure all your settings are solid, your video tags are written, etc. And then you hit the magical button. You hit that publish button. Don't be afraid of that publish button. It is intimidating. It's a lot of work gone in, especially if you get a bomb. You get something that just absolutely does not connect with people. I've had a few of those myself. Don't be afraid. Just get your reps in and put this workflow into practice. I'm curious to know from you guys if there's anything that you do that really help you come up with ideas faster or edit faster, whatever. Things that have optimized your own workflow. I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. Genuinely, I would. I'm always trying to learn and get better myself and make this process a little bit simpler and more fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful in some ways. For more educational content like this, here's a color grading video that I made that I referenced earlier, and here is the sound video as well. Both of those things should be pretty helpful in terms of the post-production aspect of video creation. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one.